guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is 21 and married relationship advice. As most of you might know, I just got married 2 months ago to the most wonderful man. Yay! I know what most of you are thinking. You're probably thinking you're 21 and you're married. You were so young. Oh my gosh. It's fine, I get that all the time. One of my cousin's husbands, he came up to me the day before my wedding and said that he remembered when I was 16, and apparently I said I wanted to be married at 21. And it's so crazy that I actually got married at 21. I have always had marriage in my heart. Maybe not when I was 5 and I didn't want to leave my parents. I've always dreamed of the rom-com, which it totally is, by the way. I'll do another video of how we met, etc. Watch this space for that. I have kind of always dreamed of the rom-com fairy tale and the wedding and the marriage and just happily ever after and Prince Charming, and I think especially as girls we kind of do that, you know? I thought I would share some tips with you guys, especially if you want to be married, even if you're single. I think these tips are really great to know for your relationships, for your future marriage. I think a lot of people these days are getting a divorce. I think it's a 1 in 2 rate or something like that. I'm sure none of us really want to be a statistic. Like, how do you have a lasting marriage? Number 1, divorce is not an option. You have to decide that marriage is for the rest of your lives. Like Nathan and I decided that we did not want to get a divorce. We're so set in making this last. We want to serve God in that way. I remember one day I was on Tumblr and I saw this amazing story. It was about this one person asking their friend's mom, who just celebrated their 30th anniversary, and they asked her what the key to successful marriage was, and her answer was 2 pioneers in separate ships arrive on the same piece of land. They decide that together they can make it on this land with each other. They don't know what they'll come across in this new territory, but they swear to each other that they'll take it one day at a time and face it side by side. So they burn their ships and they burn their port. That's how you make marriage work. You choose who you want to face it all with, and then you decide that leaving is not an option. You have to both burn your ships. Number 2, choose to love at all times. I know that sometimes your other half is gonna get on your nerves. Your other half is gonna have mistakes, they're gonna have flaws, they're not gonna be perfect, especially knowing that we're not perfect ourselves. And when they make a mistake or when they do something wrong, we have to choose to love them at all times. Love is a choice. Sparks and butterflies are part of the wonderful, amazing picture, but you have to choose to love unconditionally no matter what. Number 3, forgive quickly and easily. I think just as human beings, we kind of sometimes hold grudges against other people when they don't do things the way that we expect them to do it, or when they don't treat us the way that they should treat us. If you hurt them, be quick to say sorry so that the other person doesn't hold it in their heart. If you're on the side of being hurt, forgive them quickly and easily. Don't hold it against them because you're not perfect yourself. And you're gonna make mistakes too. It's easier said than done, of course, because when you feel hurt, you feel hurt. Seriously, choose to let the small things go so that it doesn't damage your heart. Number 4, choose to love fearlessly. We were at Color Conference and I was listening to Lisa Bevere, and she was talking about her husband. They had been together 10 years and she had had a lot of insecurities. He came up to her and he was like, how long is it gonna take for you to realize that I'm not gonna leave you? And I thought that was so powerful, because she said, am I just gonna wake up when I'm 80 and know that he's not gonna leave me and I'm gonna start living my life? Especially when you're full of fear, or if you're full of insecurities, it's a lot harder, and I can understand that, but you have to make that choice. You're gonna love without fear. Number 5, the other person isn't gonna fulfill you. As much as I love rom-coms, I love fairy tales. I mean, if you've seen my videos or if you know me, you know that I'm a big Disney fan. I know that we always have expectations that whoever our Prince Charming is, we have this thing where we think that he's gonna fulfill something. We've realized that God is the only thing that can fulfill us. Number 6, fight fair, not to win. When you do argue, you always want to be right. You want to be the one who wins the fight, right? Whenever you argue, you don't argue to win. You guys are on the same team. You're not against each other, you're with each other. It's not as if there's some way for you guys to never argue. It's inevitable. Especially when you get married, as the Bible says, you become one flesh. Don't hurl insults at each other, because that kind of stuff is really damaging. It's mostly because we have the mentality that we want to be right. If you start changing your mindset that when you're arguing, you are arguing not for yourself to win, but for both of you to win, I think your arguments will tend to turn out a lot better. And that also leads to my next point, number 7. You're a team. Act like it. Build each other up. Never tear each other down. I think that it's very crucial that you work as a team in marriage, that they're also your best friend. Always talk well of each other, especially when you're around other people that you've just met or your friends. Always build each other up. Number 8, always seek to have fun. Always seek to laugh. You're supposed to be best friends and you have to have fun together. You know, find a good TV show that you both love. Find places that you want to travel to together. Find couples that you like hanging out with, and just always seek ways to have fun and to laugh with each other and just to have a good time with each other. And that also leads on to my next point, date night. Date night is so important. Once a month at the minimum. For people who don't have kids, it's just very important to have that moment where you guys date each other. Keep on flirting with each other. Never stop trying for the other person. Especially when you have kids, you always need to go back to the foundation. The kids will know that if their mom and dad loves each other, then things in the house are going to be fine. Alright, for all Christian couples out there, keep Jesus at the center of your marriage, of your relationship. Pray together. A couple that prays together stays together. And that is the most important aspect of a marriage. And if you keep seeking Jesus together, that's just, everything else is just going to fall into place. And finally, my last tip is find out what each other's love language is. Find out how they best feel loved. Is it words of affirmation? Is it acts of service? Is it gifts? I think it's so easy to be selfish. What do I want? I want this, I want that. And it's so easy. I'm guilty of it myself, especially when you've grown up and all you had to care about was really yourself. When you get married, you have another person to think about. And it's so important to put each other's needs first. That's when they feel the most loved. When you put each other first, you love better. So I guess those are my tips, and I hope you guys like them. If you have any other questions, I am so happy to answer them. And yeah, bye, love you all.